What's up, GoBots? Welcome to Seeker Sentral. Then it's time to crack open our first box and start building some sealed pools. So we've got our Wave 3 box here. There have been a lot of discussion recently about the collation issues that this set is having. So, we're going to see what we get with our 5 sealed pools in here. And then we'll pull them together and build a regular constructed deck. Just as a recap, in case you didn't watch the intro video, the way sealed works in the Transformers TCG is you receive 6 booster packs of the current set, and then you open those 6 packs and you construct a deck that has a total of 25 stars between the characters and your battle cards, and you have a minimum of 25 cards in your deck. So 25, it's pretty easy to remember. With all of the small characters in this set, we have so much versatility when it comes to team construction. We're also going to be having 12 characters total between our 6 packs, and to figure out what we're going to do. When you do a sealed event, you're going to have 20 minutes for deck construction. So each of the sealed pools that we build for this video series are all going to be built under those constraints. I'm going to have a timer running on my phone just up in the corner. Hopefully we don't get too many compromising text messages, but we'll see. I'm super stoked to open this setup. I did 4 release events this weekend out in Colorado. One at Enchanted Grounds, another at Level 7, then the third today at All Seas Gaming, and then we capped it off with a draft at Black Gold tonight in Littleton, Colorado. We have an absolutely fantastic community here in Colorado, and we had great turnouts for all the events. This morning we had an absolutely wonderful story about, well, not even a story, it just happened, I saw it. Family came in to All Seas Gaming, and it was the first time that any of them had played. It was a father, his 2 kids, about 11 and 9, and his wife, and the 4 of them participated. The wife was more of a supervisor than anything else, and I'm just going to open this up while I tell the story. And so we had, I think it was 8 or 9 people for that event, and so the father opens up Super Rare Shockwave. And then the son opens Super Rare Ultra Magnus. And then the daughter opens Ultra Magnus's armor. It was pandemonium between all of them. They were having an absolute blast with the fact that they opened all of that up, and it was so fun to see the kids getting into it and having so much fun. So there again, we have been hearing that in a lot of boxes, one side, I haven't heard which side, but one side typically will contain all of the rares, and the other side will contain all of the non-rare cards. So what we're going to do quick is we're just going to mix up the packs together. I'm just going to kind of jumble them. Nothing too scientific, but we do want to keep the box together because we're going to do a full box constructed build when we're all done with these sealed pools. This is kind of like a new player experience. What's it like for somebody who's curious about the game, and especially with this new wave that's more complex and fun to play with? What's it like for somebody to just show up at their local game store? Maybe they play Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball or any of the other wonderful card games, and they see the people having all the fun like we are out in Colorado at our local game stores, and they're like, oh, this is a cool game. How do I get into it? And you can tell them about the Devastator Precon and the Metroplex Precon. Both really fun, but a lot of people, they want to crack packs. What's the best way to do it? Buy a box, support your local game store, and so what would it be like for somebody to do that? So we're going to do that at the end of this video series, but in order to kind of get an idea of what sealed is like for and building a sealed pool, we're going to do the whole box as 5 different sealed pools. They're going to be separated into different videos, so you don't have to worry about it. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to do them all to the 20-minute timeline. So without further ado, let's get 6 packs. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, we can put this box off to the side. We don't need it. All right, and we are going to start the timer now. So we got 20 minutes. So the first thing I like to do is open all 6 of the packs and put the character cards out. So first we've got Private Sideswipe and Raider Roadhugger. Haven't been super thrilled with Private Sideswipe at this point, but it's a 8-cost character, so that's that's something. But typically speaking, it's hard to engineer a spot where you're going to have a lot of characters in the KO area, so it's hard to make work. All right, and pack 2 into the box, and we pull a super rare. Pack 2. All right, we got Sergeant Cog. That's absolutely nuts. We're going to try to play him in this build. And we got another Raider Roadhugger. All right, we're going to set the battle cards off to the side first. We'll open them up in a second, but it's better for your own, sanity with all of the packaging to do it kind of like this. All right, so we got Sergeant Hound and a Private Top Shot. Sergeant Hound, ooh, so much trash. All right, Sergeant Hound I've been really impressed with because there's a lot of ways to play multiple upgrades in a turn. Fully loaded out, full loadout, yeah, I think that's what it is, full loadout, can add +6, plus whatever bonuses you're getting from the actual upgrades themselves. One thing on that kind of note, though, to think about, there are not a lot of cards in upgrades in this set that have a enter the battlefield trigger. We have a lot of when the upgraded character attacks triggers, but we don't have a lot of when it's put onto a character triggers. So things like armed hovercraft, we don't really have anything like that. So cards like Sergeant Ironhide are not all that great as a result. So we got Private RC, which is great because you're likely going to have a weapon. There's a ton of weapons in this set. And then we've got a Visper. All right, we got the pair of Visper and Stormcloud. And then got Focus on the other side, 8-cost character, and with reasonable attack. Much better in this context than Private Sideswipe. I still can't believe it. Pack 2 in the first box opening for Wave 3, and we pull a super rare Sergeant Cog. All right, and then we've got Captain Wheeljack and Private Mudslinger. These cards I have found to be very mediocre. The Autobots, at least. The Decepticons I found to be a fair amount better, but not a huge amount. Okay, so we have our characters. Let's flip them all over to alt mode to get star counts, and we can kind of start to get an idea of what we want to be doing. Now, we're going to prioritize Sergeant Cog, which means we want to be running as many low-cost characters as possible to maximize the amount of benefit we're going to get from heavy defense breaker cannon. One note about sealed, we do have 2 Raider Road Huggers. You know, in normal constructed, you would not be able to run both of them, but in sealed, you can run duplicates of a character if you have both of them in your pool. We had a player at our event on Friday night at level 7 get 2 trigger happies in their pool, which was nuts. Absolutely nuts. Okay, so we have 10 stars. So we've got 15 to work with. What we could do is we could run, if we want to be running more than 2 more characters, so 3 total, we'd have to be running entirely small characters. I don't really like the idea of that. Unfortunately, we didn't grab a Weapon Master, which is not wonderful, but let's see what we have here in terms of our characters. Now we've got a Wheeljack, which does get us an extra card into our hand, and then when we play a third action, which is essentially playing a full-out Brainstorm, we get to draw a card. That's all, whatever. But we also have a Sergeant Hound, like we saw before, which actually has upgrade abilities. Now, if you get your heavy force defense breaker cannon onto the Hound, that's +2. Then you're drawing the card for each character and putting an upgrade on each character. Hound gets a second upgrade. So that's another +2 onto Hound. Now, the one thing to actually, now that I think about it, that's only going to be relevant and constructed with Peace Through Tyranny, because this is actually going to be equipped onto Hound at the end of your opponent's turn when things are cleaned up. When it's KO'd, play its upgrade side, so it happens immediately. It's not before your turn, so the bonus would actually get wasted. So that maybe not what we want to do, because it's a 9-star character. All right, so we're gonna do Cog, and let's put a placeholder with RC, which will give us a total of 7 more stars that we can play with. So we can do one of these characters and potentially some star cards. So let's take a look now at the battle cards that we've opened. Now we're getting down. We have just over 13 minutes remaining. So I'm gonna speed things up just a little bit to make sure that we finish this out. Now, the one thing to remember with this is that you're gonna be opening 6 packs of 6 cards. So you're going to have a total of 36 cards that you'll have. 6 times 6 is 36, and that means you're going to have 11 cards that you're not going to be playing. All right, so we have a Brainstorm, and I'm going to separate them out into actions, the upgrade types, and then secret actions, and I'll put rares into their own pile. An unconventional flying object, which is going to be completely useless for us, an EM 24IR laser, a force field, and a squish them like bugs. Probably not what we're going to be doing because we're going to be playing a lot of small characters, but these two are going to allow things to survive for longer turns, which with an upgrade heavy strategy is going to be important. Alright, so we have another Brainstorm, an Urban Camo, which is a utility, Pep Talk, another device virus, an extra padding, which I have found wonderful, especially with Hound, and another useless rare, a LV Gamma Disruptor Launcher. Now this is one of the, not necessarily problems with the game, I don't think it's a problem, but a lot of the cards in the rare slot in this game are powerful yet narrow items. So we got Personal Targeting Drone, Basic Combat Protocol, a Smoke Thrower, a Battlefield Scan, which I've been pretty disappointed with, Sturdy Armor, and another, I don't think we have a plain, oh, we have the Vispers. So, you know, potentially we could make something work along those lines. We could play both of the planes, and then have an opponent do 2 damage, and it's a, you know, basically a orange-pipped marksmanship, I guess is for lack of a better term. All right, so that we've got our first secret action in defensive formation, one of my more favorite. We've got a laser cutlass for the rare, one of my favorite rares in the game. All right, we have Spinner Rims, my least favorite card in the entire set. Some people know I used to build custom cars for a living, so this feels a bit like an affront to what I like to do for a living. It's just, I mean, I have problems with it. All right, let's get the timer back up here. Okay. All right, we have a Callous Leadership as another possibly useless rare. I like to kind of keep those up there. We got a Steady Shot, which I've been impressed with. A second extra padding. A Smoke Cloak. Dismantling Claw. And a Battlefield Report. Another one of my favorite card secret actions, because this is one of the few secret actions that is just going to trigger every single time. When it happens, because your character, I mean, unless they play an EMP wave, which is not that great, but yeah. All right, repurpose another Dismantling Claw, a Diagnosis. Hey, that EMP wave, and we have a Quartermaster, which does at least allow us to move Cog around, which could re-proc the ability. And then we have a Metal Detector, which if we're going to be playing a ton of upgrades, which we definitely have a lot of, we can play a blue heavy upgrade deck, which I think is what we're going to want to do. This is going to allow us to play a lot of those upgrades. So, all right, we've got our cards in here, and we're going to keep these cards up here. So we've got 7 that we can take that we know we aren't going to use. All right. So let's take a look, and I think we're going to do small characters in this one. As much as I'd like to do RC, it's having both of the planes with that callous, with the 2-pronged attack is going to be great. So, however, let's take a look at how many copies of Diagnosis we got. All right, so we have 1, 2, 2. Okay, so if we decide to go with, well, no, we don't want to do this. We don't want to bank on this, because either way, we're going to have at least one Decepticon. Now, we could do RC, and we'd probably want to, I think we'd probably want to do Private Mudslinger because he has more health. Pierce is very prevalent in this format. It is extremely prevalent, as we will discuss later in our statistics video at the end of the series. And as a result, the higher your total health pool ends up being, the greater advantage you're going to have. And things that have 0 defense are less good, or less bad as a result, because your opponent is going to be doing a lot of just guaranteed damage. So we're going to have a weapon a lot of the time. Cog is going to be a weapon. So let's try to make our C, and that would give us the space for 1, whereas if we do, we could do 4. That's an interesting, well, yeah, we would have to do, because we couldn't, if this was a 7-cost character, and we don't have a 7. No, we're all 8s, which is really unfortunate. It'd be great if we had a 7-cost character. We could do 7 and then the 2 4s. But I think in order to get the most amount of benefit for Cog, we want to try to maximize that as best as possible. So, yes, I think that is what we want to do. So let's take a look at what we have here. We have the Road Huggers as well. So the Road Huggers give leap into battles. We're going to 100% run these two guys. And with 7 health, they're doing pretty well. So we can run 3 rather with the small characters. And I think we'd probably want to do that because besides EMP Wave, we don't have anything that we're really trying to do here. We have EMP Wave, and we have full loadout. Okay, so I say we go with the Raider Stormcloud. It gives us, it's 1 fewer stars, so we can play that loadout, and it has the potential to give Bold 3. But the extra health, they're both planes. This is a leader, though, so I guess we could technically use Callous leadership on it. Move up to 5 damage counters from one of your Decepticon leaders that has 8 or more. Nope, this does not have 8 or more stars, so we cannot use that. So I think we're probably going to want to do Raider Stormcloud with the full loadout. All right, so we're running out of time now, so let's commit to this being our deal for that, and we'll pull this to the side. We've got our Quartermaster as one card we're for sure going to use. We're going to play both of our secret actions. We'll for sure play that. We're not going to play the Spinner Rims unless we have to. We're for sure going to play that. This is going to be on the side. For sure the extra padding. Do we have any specialists? We do not, so Sturdy Armor is out. For sure extra padding, for sure Force Field. Alright, we're going to for sure do the 2 Dismantling Claws. For sure the Laser Cutlass, the 2 Smoke Throwers, and the Launcher. No on the EMP Wave, absolutely on the Repurpose. And we're running 1 plane, so we're going to put this in the maybe pile. I do like that it's an orange pip. Orange pips are at a real premium. We are going to play the full loadout, which is actually going to be fantastic in this. We're going to not play the Battlefield Scan. Yes, yes, yes. No. Yes, because we're going to have a lot. And then this is going, our Diagnosis. I think we're going to play both of them, but we might cut one. We have 2 Brainstorms, so we can fit them in with other items. So, all right, so with this build, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So we have 26 total without the 2-pronged attack. All right, let's look at cards that we're not super thrilled about playing. Everything here really fits in. The Laser Cutlass is going to really work. The Dismantling Claws, when you replace the Dismantling Claw with another weapon, like let's say it's on something and then you Sergeant Cog and dump out your hand, you replace it, you're going to scrap your opponent's weapon. So I think we're going to want to run both of the device viruses because there are a lot of upgrades in this set, and being able to get pseudo advantage. I mean, you're still at best doing a 2 for 2 is still pretty good though. I think we probably take the one diagnosis out because we're not, it's just a heal one. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we have 25 with this setup. And then let's just go through quickly and make sure that we don't have any restrictions. None of these except for the laser cutlass, but we're okay with that. And then the extra padding's fine, smoke cloak is fine, force field is fine, combat protocol, metal detector are fine, and we're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're running 12 other upgrades. So, you know, that's going to be likely, you're going to have about a 50-50 shot, maybe a little more closer to 60% of hitting something with metal detector. We're also running a whole bunch of stuff to make sure that full loadout is actually a playable card, unlike EMP Wave. And then lastly, in just the last minute, we're going to go through this again and just look and see if there's anything in here that really stands out. And I'm not seeing anything. These three are just dead entirely. Spinner rims, I don't want to play on just a where we don't have a lot that's benefiting from bold, so you know that's not really something I care about. 2 damage is not something. You know what? That can finish off. That can finish off characters. Let's pull the second diagnosis out and put the 2-pronged attack in. Yes, and we'll just prioritize keeping Raider Storm Cloud around. All right, I am going to call this as the build for the video and stop time. Okay, so now that we're stopped and we've committed to the build, let's talk just a little bit about what we're trying to do here, and let's analyze a few things about the deck. So first up, let's look at the total number of black pips that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total black pips. So out of 25, that's about a third of the deck is black. So given that we don't have a lot of white, we only have 2 white, we're not going to be flipping it, you know, probably more than 50% of the time. We're also not running a lot of white. So typically speaking, you're going to be flipping 2 cards, and that's it. Lastly, let's think about Raider Stormcloud here, which is the scrap 3 green. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 total. So it's definitely possible that we could put it together to get a big bold turn. Now, that being said, let's also look at the amount of orange pips in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 orange pips. So at most, you're ever adding 5 damage to what you're doing. So it might actually be the better, because of that, it might actually be better to hit them with, get a Raider Visper, because you're getting the extra health out of it. But then you would be losing the full loadout, which what would we run in the interim? And yes, I know we're out of or overtime at this point, but you know, maybe we put a personal targeting drone. Yeah, I'd rather run that and guarantee the pierce damage. Yeah. All right, we're going to make one final change and just assume that we would have had extra time had we not been talking to the camera. That actually makes me feel a lot more comfortable about where we're going. It's because you're really limited in the pip count, and so that's going to determine a lot of your strategy as to whether you're going to go forward or backward, or not backward, but forward, or you know, holding off. And with this, we're now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're at 12 blue. That's going to add decent survivability. All right. So this is what I would do for this particular sealed pool build. I'd probably rate this at maybe a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. The characters that we're running with Sergeant Cog, I'm not super thrilled with. We do have a total health pool of 21 plus 12 is 33. 33, yep, 33. So that's roundabout average. It's typically seen between 30 and 35 is what I've been seeing a lot of builds at. So you're at the higher end with a lot of blue, but again, Pierce is going to be what's going to get you, especially with these smaller characters. That being said, things like this force field are going to do wonders. So I'm going to stop it there for this one, and we'll see you for pool number 2.